it's Lee from ColouringQueen.net and welcome back.
David often goes near the good art shop, as I call it, because he often has to deliver things in the truck to job sites for people for his work, and one of the major jobs that they're working on at the moment is in the same suburb where the art shop is. I mean, what could be better? And but often, you know, he can't get parking, or when he goes, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning and they're not open. So failing him being able to get me a dark green pencil, I'll have to order them online, and they'll have to come from another state and probably, you know, take their time getting here. So I put more chartreuse on this one than on the previous ones. I don't know why I did that. But anyway. Yeah, so I hope he does go near there. So I don't want to go myself because I'll have to catch a bus and a train. It'll take me an hour to get there. Then I'll have to walk a bit before I get there, and then you know, there might be too many peoples for my liking. So, and it's not worth it for a green pencil. So hopefully I've got a little stash somewhere that has another green in it. I mean, I could always just use another brand. So now I've got Peacock Blue, and what I've done with this one is I've just added it here and there on the edges just to give it a bit of difference. And so I'll add it down here. I was colouring this in at the dining room table so I could basically watch TV and colour as well, because I love to multitask. And the light in there is just not as good as it is in here, and so I've consequently ended up with lots of little bits that aren't properly coloured in, but you know, at least I got to watch some shows. So I'm just adding that here and there. And Miss Millie is, in case you're wondering, she's underneath the desk. And I've got this toy box type thing that I've got spare things in that I just can't fit up here. And because I've got no room, I've also got the printer on top of it. And every time I want to print a page, which is why I put off printing things sometimes, I have to pull it out from under the desk and under this box. Anyway, there's a tiny little bit of a gap, and she has found her way, and she's sitting on the end of the box next to the printer. Talk about cute. I looked all around the house wondering where she was and thought she might have got out when I went down to hang out washing. But she's found, of course, the weirdest spot in the house to curl up and have her little afternoon nap. So that's cats for you. At least Charlie, I know where he is all the time. He's right underneath me. But Millie, gosh, she hides in so many places. And that many times I think that she's got out or she's ran away or whatnot, and she just emerges from somewhere where she's been. And sometimes I don't even know where it is that she's found. So I'll run that blender pen over some of these because some of them are a bit rough from that colouring in the sort of dismal lighting. And then I thought I should be brave and do something I haven't done before, because the feathers are something I haven't done. They're part of my 2020 challenge to myself. But I also thought I haven't done fair hair, and I always just do brunette hair, and I'm a brunette, so I kind of know what brunette hair looks like. Although mine's got so many fairy sparkles in it at the moment, it's not funny. But so I thought I would like to do her with blonde hair, or fair at least, you know. Let's not call it blonde until, you know, I can perfect it. But so I thought I'll give it a try, and if it doesn't work out, I'll just, you know, go over it and make it darker, which I know how to do. So I pulled out a few colours that I thought might be all right for blonde, but then I thought much better to go with something sort of tried and true. So I nipped over to the wonderful Cheng's channel, and she's drawing now as well. Geez, she's clever, that girl. As well as, you know, doing her amazing colorings. She is such a talent. Anyway, she's got a drawing that she drew, and she's also done the colouring for it. And it's called Juliette or something like that. Anyway, that girl has got fair hair in the portrait. That's the way she coloured it. So I thought I will take Chris's colour palette for the fair hair and see if I can figure out how to do it for this sort of curly hair. Curly hair is my nemesis, if you like. Obviously I haven't practiced enough, and that's, you know, always the case when you've got a block on something. It's because you either haven't learned or you haven't practiced enough, or it involves something that you don't like doing. Anyway, curly hair is something that I haven't, even though I've done a few pieces with curly hair, they were all looked absolutely awful. And really they look like my hair when I get up in the morning. And by the way, I do have curly hair, but you will rarely ever see it curly because I usually pull it straight. I can usually get it to go straight without using the straightener, but when I used to go to work I did straighten it. I just can't seem to figure out how to do the curly hair. I don't get it, and it's clearly just a matter of not practicing enough. And so if this doesn't work out, you know, it just means that I've got another opportunity to learn, as the saying goes. So I'm going to give it a shot, and I'll just move you over here. I'll give this girl a shot. So I still have to blend out the leaves with the blender pen. I still have to pop her eyebrows in, and I still might do this background in a dark green if I can find my dark green pencil. We'll do the hair and we'll see how we go. So I got the recipe from Cheng, and I'm really unsure how to start it, and the colours are Chris's choices of colours, but I'm unsure just everything about it. And it's so funny, isn't it, when you try something new and you don't know really what you're doing. But anyway, we'll give it a go, What's the worst that can happen? It just goes dark and you see her with brown hair instead. Anyway, but the picture that Chris had wasn't grayscale. It was one that she'd coloured herself, and it wasn't this sort of hairstyle. So I'm not really sure, but I'm just popping in strokes to reflect hair and stroking away so that I don't colour the flamingo. I tell you, this book is addictive because when I was looking at it earlier, I was thinking, oh, I really want to colour that peacock. And then I think there's a panther there, and I thought, oh, I'd really like to colour that and have the girl with the multicolour hair. And then I was looking at the line picture and I thought, I would like to colour that, but what worries me is the feathers on the girl accompanying it. I'm not sure how to do like normal feathers, so I'd have to practice that and try and figure that one out, because the girl in the picture has got quite a few feathers around her neck, and I think there might even be earrings. So I'm hoping that following Grazia's hair directionality that she's got on here might help me figure out this blonde hair. I know that the blonde can't purely be just blonde. It's got to have dark and shadow in it, or otherwise it won't have any sort of dimension or contrast or any of those things. But I really don't know. I tell you what, it's so warm today. It's so muggy. But yet Australia is heading for what they're saying is going to be the coldest April. Now, that seems to be other states and not where I am, but you never know, it might come up higher. I can't remember now if I told you what colour this was. What I'll try and do, because a couple of people have asked me about the colours, I'll try and remember to put them in the description box below the video. So this one's sand. Then I'm going to come over it with the burnt ochre. Now I don't know, sorry, yellow ochre. I don't know whether, because this has already got the grey on it from Grazia's drawing, there's a lot of dark grey. I don't know whether the blonde will actually show. And it's not really going to be blonde, it's just more fair, I guess. But at the end of the day, it might turn out to be brown. Or maybe even grey. She might end up with brown hair with sparkles like mine. So many grey hairs lately. It's like Sparkle Queen. Is everyone, while they're in lockdown or quarantining or staying at home or whatever you're doing in this current situation, is everyone else still doing their usual hair routines? If you dye your hair, are you still doing that? I do dye my hair. I've dyed my hair since I was like 15. Because I hate the colour of my hair. It's brown, it's just a normal brown, and it's got like a natural red tinge to it. It's a part of my Irish heritage, I guess, but anyway, I've always dyed it ever since I was a teenager. But with the current restrictions and everything, and because I don't have a job that I need to be presentable for, I guess, I haven't dyed it now for a couple of months, so hence the sparkles that I hadn't really noticed are now appearing. But if you do normally dye your hair, are you still doing that at home, or do you wait to get it done at the hairdressers? Or every now and again I'll get the hairdressers to do my hair, but usually I'm so cheap, I usually just do it myself. So I'd rather keep the money. And at the moment there's no real need, you know. I'm not going to be able to get a job for a long time now, so I just got to accept that and find other things to do in the interim. Don't know about that. It might have looked good on Chris's because hers was just line art without the all the shadowing here, but look, we'll keep persevering. So that was Sand and Yellow Ochre. So now I've got Eggshell to just soften it down a bit, I guess. And I will have to go over this Flamingo and just flick out these circles a little bit, I think, because once you do the palms, kind of feel the need to make sure that the Flamingo looks like it's in front of the palms. Yeah, I really will need to practice doing hair. I think I can't remember ever actually sitting down to try it, but I never did it with skin either. So I think I'll have to put on my list, you know, how to do hair, and just print out, go to one of the free sites like Pixabay and print out a little black and white illustration so that I can practice the hair on it and keep trying, I guess. Okay, it is looking blonde, so that's hopeful, I guess. It is looking fairish or silver blonde. So that was Eggshell. Then it's 90% French grey, and again these are Chris Cheng's colour pencil combinations from a portrait that she drew and coloured called Juliette. So I was just trying to watch her video to see what the colours were, because she actually didn't write them down below the video like she normally does, so I didn't watch the whole video. So I'm going to take a punt here with where the colours are meant to go. I think this curly hair is going to be the death of me. So after I finish doing this, I'm going to make a bread and butter pudding. So I've got this bread that's a bit last week or last couple of days, because there's only 2 of us and I only have 1 piece of bread a day. That's my limit. Don't get me wrong, I love bread, but it just does not love me, and it goes straight to my butt. So I only have 1 piece a day, and David sometimes takes it for sandwiches or sometimes has it for breakfast toast. So we don't really go through that much bread. So I've got a bit that's stale, so I thought I'll make a bread and butter pudding. And I make mine with the apricot jam. So they're basically apricot jam sandwiches in custard. And David loves anything sort of custardy based. So that'll make him happy. I'm on a diet, so I don't get to see if it turns out or not, so I have to wait for him to tell me if it was all right or if it was not worth making again, or it's funny though, he usually likes the things that are a lot simpler and more basic ingredients, if you like, which is good. I mean, he never says he hates anything. He's probably just grateful he doesn't have to cook it, to be honest. Because for 20 years he basically did all the cooking in our relationship. Because I used to get home very late and he would get home in the afternoon. So I always cooked for dinner parties and things like that, but other than cooking for applause, as I call it, I never really did the day-to-day cooking. And to be honest, if we had my way, we'd just have cheese sandwiches or a bowl of muesli. But David likes to eat, so, you know, he'd always cook. So now that I'm home all the time, I've been doing the cooking. And after 20 years, I've been trying to reacquaint myself with the kitchen, which usually I really enjoy doing because it's been so long, you know, since I've put in any sort of kitchen effort. But at the moment, I just really want to colour in my book and feel like this is taking it away from me. I'm going to have to go around the top of this flamingo's head just to distinguish it up against that hair. Oh, and sorry, did I tell you this is 90% French grey? I'm really not used to doing this calling out the colours thing. And I know lots of people do, but they do tutorials and I'm just, you know, trying to learn as I go along. So I don't do tutorials, so I will probably forget, you know, to sound out the colours. And people have contacted me previously on email and Facebook asking me for colours, and usually I can remember them, but there's no guarantees. So I will try to, you know, put them in the description box, but I can't say that I'm going to be perfect with doing that because it's not something that is coming naturally to me to remember. I'm not sure. I want this to stand out a bit more, so just sort of darken up around and hopefully that will help it to pop out a bit more. Okay, now what's next? Burnt ochre. So she's sort of like a silver ash blonde. Look, I'm happy with any sort of fair hair at the moment, because at least then I can say I've tried to do it and, you know, clearly need to try harder. But thankfully Grazia does, you know, all the work here with all her shading, and just need to come in and go over it. Yeah, so after I make the bread and butter pudding, I think I'm going to start on that peacock picture. Now I know I should finish up all those whips I've shown you, but really there's something about the call of a new picture that's just, it's too hard to resist. And I'm well away from this picture at the moment. You might notice that I'm really leaning over. I think David's moved my light around, and so I have to move in a little bit more. So I may have to fix it up off screen, the bits that I can't reach here, but that's okay. I actually think Mariala Budek, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I reviewed her very first Polish book years ago. I've got quite a lot of her digital downloads, but I don't review my PDF colouring books usually because I've got quite a lot of them, and then I'd have to print them all out and whatnot. So only every now and again do I review them, but I've got them there. So I think she's got a little set of pages for practicing hair on. So I might have to buy those. And I've got a feeling that Colour and Chat with Sammy or Cheng, or actually maybe both of them, have done a little tutorial on colouring hair, so I might need to look into that and see if I can get those pages and print them out. I'm worried at the moment because I need, this is Eggshell again, I need to print out a lot of pages, and I'm worried I'm going to run out of printer ink. And then I'm going to have to brave it to the shops to get some. Plus with the printer ink, last time it was cheaper for me to buy a new printer. Like the cost of the printers is so cheap, and then the cost of the ink is the same price point as the printer. There's just so much waste in buying printers. Often I'll go just to Officeworks in Australia and I'll get things printed up and use their printing because it works out cheaper. But with the restrictions and stuff, I don't want to make unnecessary visits, although I think like colouring pages are quite essential. So then white is the next one. Ooh, I really pushed on that, didn't I? Blew the whole tip off. So we're getting there with this hair. And then Espresso. So some of this I will have to put in off camera because it's too hard for me to reach over. So if you've got any tips for me on how to colour fair hair or curly hair, please let me know. I think the girl in the peacock one, which is the latest one that I want to colour, I think she's got long wavy hair, so that might be easier. And then the next colour is black. So all these dark colours just to make blonde hair. Yeah, so after I make that bread and butter pudding, I think I might tidy up a cupboard or something. No, I think I will do that peacock picture. Really want to do that picture. For some reason, I just do not want to finish one of my whips. I don't know why, because I really do want to finish the whips, because I don't want to have them. I want to finish up everything in one go from now on. So either it might be a 1-part video or a 2-part video, but and things that I'm colouring in my own time, I'd like to just get them done at once. But I don't seem to be able to take the plunge and actually finish something so I can get to that stage. So these finer details I'll need to do off camera, because I can't quite lean over enough to get the pencil where I want it to go. So I'll do that off camera, and I'll be back to show you what she looks like, but I think that's probably as blondish as I'm going to get her. So I'm going to finish up all these little finer details off camera, and I'll be back to show you what she looks like when she's been blended out. Hi, it's Leah, I'm back, and Millie, of course, is helping with this final picture reveal. I finished off the picture because I can't bear to have another whip. I have so many whips, it's embarrassing, but yet I can't stop starting new pictures. But at least the new ones I'm starting, I'm actually finishing. Luckily enough, I found a new dark green pencil. So I did colour in those items that were in the dull black with the dark green pencil, and I think it does look better. Finished up the hair, I added another layer to it. I've got to say I'm not really happy about it. It obviously needs to be something that I work on and practice with, but there we have it. She's finally finished, and now I'm going to start the peacock because I am so in love with this book at the moment. And after the peacock, I think it's going to be the zebra. I am loving this book. So that's it from me. Until next time, stay safe and happy colouring.